Hello, welcome to Screen.
Thank you.
So, I want to start by asking you, Madhuri, that it's so excited to see you do comedy.
Thank you.
I thought that you were never got your due for the comic scenes and comic films that you did. I know that your contemporaries like Sri Devi and Juhi Chawla, they got a lot of these standout moments in comedy. But I want to thank you that you finally got getting her to do comedy. Do you think it's a very underrated skill and that you haven't gotten your due for it?
No, I think Raja was
Yeah.
one of the films
Yeah.
where, like, the whole film was
Yeah.
comedic. Of course, there's always a
Okay.
dramatic event or a dramatic portion of the movie which has to be, part of the whole. But I have not done a comedy in some time, and even Khel was a comic film,
Yes.
and so a lot of films I've done actually.
Yeah.
But these past few years, I have not really, got a film which was amazing, which was funny, which was, situational kind of a comedy and stuff. So I think when he came to me with the script, Suresh, and when I heard it, I was like, yes, I want to play this character because she's so delicious, she's so chaotic, and she's a mother, and she's breaking all the rules, and she's modern, she doesn't care, and the kind of relationship between the kids and her was something which is completely dysfunctional, and I thought this was an amazing role for me to play, and that's why I agreed to do it.
Yeah. Raja, I remember that you wearing that white, grey,
Yeah.
long grey wig.
But Chachi,
Yeah.
with Chachi.
Yeah.
But you have done your fair share. That's what I'm saying. That, but I think that you haven't gotten your due, and I hope Maa Behen does that for you.
thank you so much.
Also, how was it, riffing with Ravi Kishan? Because I can imagine that he can be a very unpredictable scene partner.
Absolutely. And we always used to be on our toes when he was in the scene because we didn't know what and from where it's going to come from some, outfield, and a googly like in a shot. And we always were very aware when we were doing scenes with him that he's someone who can be very extempore once the camera starts. And but I think it added to the whole chaos, which was amazing.
Yeah. It's nice to see Tripti and Dharna as, the Behens. And with Dharna, she plays a influencer and she is an influencer. So it is great casting. But there's also this debate around, casting influencers and how it's taking away from actors. I want to ask all three of you, since you have such a deep insight into the industry, of how do you think that's a valid argument and that's a concern, or we shouldn't be worried about that? Any
I
of you?
don't think so. I think it's absolutely unfair when you box people.
Yeah.
In fact, influence the creators technically, right? And like how ma'am that day was talking about it, that they actually take the effort of shooting, putting the entire camera, shooting for themselves, all of it, writing their own scripts. They're inherently great actors.
Yeah.
Now, just like how there are good actors, bad actors, there'll be all kinds of talent. Like in the case of Dharna, it's not just because she was an influencer. My writer actually had suggested to watch some of her reels, and we really liked it. She went through a proper process of auditioning.
Yeah.
And I bet you I'll show you the auditioning. It's excellent. I saw her giving the test. She gave the test twice over. And she nailed it. So for me, she's my actor. Everything else comes secondary. Okay, so that's my take around it.
Yeah. To be honest, today entertainment actually is fully democratized.
Yes.
And to a great extent, social media has enabled that sort of democratization. Otherwise, discovering talent is harder. Coming across people who are good at what they do, whether it's Prajakta Kohli in Mismatched, it's Dharna Durga over here. They are first artists and they first actually have a latent talent. They have found a way of putting that out. And for us, we will always look to cast somebody who's correct for it. I don't ever think anyone turns around and says we must cast somebody because they are. It actually comes down to your talent. But the fact that somebody is able to hone those skills over time, because entertainment today has allowed for it, social media has allowed for it, I don't think there's any running away from it. And we're actually embracing that very nicely. Tripti's had her years of struggle. I've actually worked with her in Nella Majnu. Ma'am has had a journey, a phenomenal journey. Suresh and I'm sure Vikram, even though he's done a fairly large body of work. I'm not sure about that struggle, but everybody has their own story and journey, and there are really no shortcuts. But the fact that everything is so democratic now is a big plus, because everybody who's out there with the kind of talent that's needed, with a dream, this is the best time for it to really come true.
Yeah, Mismatch is actually a great example because it started off as casting an influencer, and now she's a proper actor and going into the 4th season.
Yes.
So very exciting.
See, the minute you actually, the question you want to ask but you're not asking is casting based on followers, right?
Yeah, that's
So I'll voice that for you. Recipe for disaster.
okay.
Casting based on fan connect, casting based on inherent talent on screen, casting based on relevance and discipline trumps followers any day.
Yeah.
Because the fan base for that particular individual whose content gets consumed on social channels will always spot fakeness or irrelevance before others. What that leads to is a dissonance on the home turf itself, on the social channels on which that individual has become big. So I absolutely echo with everything that Suresh and Ruchika have said, because you cast an actor, we are making a film. We are not seeking to go a million more on the outreach of the film when it gets ready. That if that happens, great. That's a fan franchise that gets activated at the time, but you don't go out and make a film by that logic. We just aggregate people who have 50 million followers and then just take a primary cast and hope that people will watch them.
And especially in this film, we have Madhuri Dixit.
And I have to tell you that one of my favorite creators is Dr. Nene.
Oh, thank you.
He's so insightful yet so candid.
Yes.
And it's been, I was just thinking that it's been 15 years since you relocated to India.
Yes.
How do you think he has embraced this new identity, this new culture, your city, and especially because he was such a successful surgeon back home?
I think he's someone who he's amazing. Wherever he goes, he gets into the culture. He will be one of them, and he knows everything about everything. So he's someone who completely immerses himself. So when we came back to India, that's what he did. He completely immersed himself into. He used to come to India when he was little to spend time with his grandparents. But I think once you go to the higher, echelons of education, it becomes very hard to visit every year. And there was a big gap in between when he had not come to India. But for him, he loves India. He just loves being here. He loves the people, and he's someone who is enthusiastic about everything, as you've seen through his Insta. He is. He's a doctor, but he's a techie. He loves to travel, loves to cook, loves to do all those kind of things. And I think a lot of people asked me about marriage, and they said, how was life, after marriage? I said, before marriage, I was just working. My life actually started after marriage. That's when I actually lived, And so I'm so glad that I found him as a partner, and, we have a life together, which is amazing.
Yeah. The last time I met him was for 15th August, which was on Netflix, your
That's right.
production. And he was so gung-ho about film production.
Yes. He knows everything. He knows everything about the camera. That's, photographers who come home also to take pictures. He'll say, "Kaun sa lens hai? Kya hai? This hai? Oh, did you try this one? Did you try that? And I'm like, even I don't know so much about the camera, but he does. So.
Yeah. There's so much said about your beauty, but I don't think a lot of people talk about the grime that goes into it, the grit that goes into it. I recently learned, and I don't know if you know, but it is unbelievable that on Dola Re Dola you were 4 months pregnant.
I would say Arden was born in 2003. You do the math.
Yeah.
So you do the math.
Yeah.
I was under the weather because I was
okay.
traveling a lot. I was going back and forth, shooting here, going back, and all my shoots were night shoots.
Okay.
So, so for me, it was like very grueling in that sense. So I was a little under the weather, but nothing like that.
I will do a fact check on this. What I'm really glad about Maa Behen is that they're not just Ma and Behen. They have a lot going on. They have their personal lives. I haven't watched the movie. I want to as soon as I can. But And I'm a great admirer of you when it comes to playing, a mother, because whenever you have played it, you have given it that, I don't know, for the lack of a better word, mark or touch, but also played a woman of your own every time, whether it's even Fame Game or the one that I think got really under the radar was Kalank, where you played a mom to Varun Dhawan, but she was so much more. She was a
Yes.
dancer. I can still remember Tabaa Ho Gaye, and even like the queen of her Haveli, and also a broken heart. So she was so much more. It was a very complex role. Were you, I don't know, disappointed that it did not work or not too many people saw it, the film?
Well, I think you do your best,
Yeah.
and then you put it out there, and then whatever happens, happens. You can't really control that. But since you are saying you've seen it,
Yeah.
I'm happy you've seen it, and I'm sure there are a lot of people like you who've seen it. But by and large, there are other factors that go into why a film doesn't do well, and so we basically leave it at that. That I have done my best, and at some point somebody will watch it.
Finally, I want to credit you with Subedar. You've got the ball rolling for, I think 80s and 90s stars are back in vogue. There's Anil Ji, there's you, of course. There's Jackie Shroff in a superhero movie this week. So are we really back in the 80s, 90s? How are we feeling
When
about
did
that?
these stars go out of
Yeah,
vogue?
exactly.
I mean, they have ruled
Yeah.
the hearts of the mind and the mind of fans all over. I just think it's about seeing them in new lights. They've been relevant and been stars. You should see the minute Madhuri engages with her fans. That is across ages, segments, geographies. That is not bringing someone back.
Of
That
course.
is just
Yeah.
being there and ruling.
No. It's just a letter of gratitude that I'm giving to
No,
you.
they are the OGs. So for me, they are the OGs, and that's what I'm saying. She's so relevant, and the real joy of working with a talent like her. I mean, and that's something that I think is absolutely not true. That they were never gone.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like they're the brightest stars out there.
One final thing that I want you to clear the air about is there any conversation about Khalnayak returns, of your return in Khalnayak returns?
As of now, no. As of now, I don't know.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Can't wait to
you.
watch